Let me get back to the phones. Let me go to Stan. Looks like Stan. I can't see it. From Southern Georgia. Is it Stan?
Yeah, hi. I just heard you talking about, tax and spending and the deficit and everything. And if Republicans don't like deficit spending, then why did Ronald Reagan invent it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
And are taxes, with this tax increase, are they going to be high as they were under Ronald Reagan? Because they're not. I mean, to listen to you guys talk about deficit spending and taxes, it's ridiculous. Point to when you were responsible with the money under W, and then we can talk about tax and spending.
Here's the thing, though. Ronald Reagan invented deficit spending. Deficit spending has been going on since the 1800s, but nevertheless, if he invented deficit spending and we were spending under a deficit, why is it that we have, for the first time since 1930, 9% unemployment for the longest period in history, except for the 1930s? Why is it that if Bush, which I disagree with Bush's economic policies totally, and he left us with a deficit that has taken 200 years to build through all presidencies, then why is it this administration decide to put that spending on steroids and increase the spending tenfold? Listen, are we going to always have spending? Yes, but Ronald Reagan cut the size of government by 14.2% in his first year in office. 14.2% cut the size of government. And we saw unemployment decrease dramatically and tax revenues increase dramatically. So, look, you can point to a lot of other things. I'm all for it. If you want to point to Bush spending, I'm all about that. I agree with you 100%. You know, just like I pointed out yet on Monday that we saw a policy out of George Bush of prescription medicine with no way of paying for it. He looked at Medicare, which was already in the tank, and made it worse. If you want to talk about that, man, I agree with you 100%. But you can't look at Reagan, who was about cutting the size of government dramatically in order to create economic growth. It's the only way we're going to get ourselves out of where we are today. So, look, we got to look at all of it across the board. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not being critical of just this administration. I'm being critical of the incompetency. That's the real crisis we have in Washington, D.C. If I had my way, all 600 of them on Capitol Hill would go. But, we've got a competency crisis more than we have anything else. Let me go to Steve. Steve's calling us from Louisiana. Hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm doing real well. How about